Good morning and welcome to Round the Globe on Aneke TV. First, the headlines. Israel begins first stages of Gaza City takeover operations. ICC rejects new U.S. sanctions against its judges and prosecutors. Chinese refiners sweep up Russian oil after Indian demand falls. South African Member of Parliament opens fire to fend off attack during attempted hijacking. Police promote 952 officers. Naira records 3 consecutive depreciations against United States dollar. I am Aneke. Now the news in detail. Israel says it has begun the first stages of its takeover of Gaza City. The Israeli military spokesperson, Brigadier General Efe Defrin, said troops were already operating in the Zaytoun and Jabalia areas to lay the groundwork for the offensive. About 60,000 reservists are being called up for the beginning of September to free up active duty personnel for the operation. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's war cabinet approved the plans last month, which include an eventual full security takeover of all Gaza, despite growing international criticism that it will likely lead to the displacement of many more Palestinians. Hamas has accused Israel of obstructing a ceasefire deal in favor of continuing a brutal war against innocent civilians. Meanwhile, large numbers of Palestinians are continuing to flee Gaza City after the Israeli military began the first stages of a planned ground offensive, officials in the city say. Israel's troops have established a foothold on the outskirts of the city, which is home to more than 1 million Palestinians after days of intense bombing and artillery fire. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he was shortening the timelines for seizing what he described as the last terror strongholds in Gaza. In the meantime, the International Criminal Court, ICC, has rejected new U.S. sanctions targeting 4 of its judges and deputy prosecutors, calling the measures an assault on judicial independence and the rules-based international order. On Wednesday, the U.S. State Department announced new sanctions on 2 judges and 2 prosecutors in the ICC for engaging in efforts to prosecute U.S. and Israeli citizens. Secretary of State Marco Rubio accused the ICC of being a national security threat and an instrument of lawfare against the U.S. and Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has welcomed the U.S. move. Recall that ICC issued arrest warrants against Netanyahu and his former defense minister Yoav Gallant for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity over Israel's war in Gaza. We move to China. Chinese refineries have placed new orders for Russian crude that will be shipped from ports that typically supply India. This is as demand from the South Asian country for Moscow's crude slips following U.S. President Trump's tariffs. At least 15 cargoes of Russian oil have been secured by Chinese refineries for October and November delivery. China and India emerged as the top buyers of Russian oil following Moscow's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, which prompted Western countries to shun its exports. Now we move to stories from Africa. A prominent South African Member of Parliament, Ian Cameron, fired his gun to fend off a violent attack by a gang on him and 2 of his colleagues in Cape Town. Ian Cameron, along with 2 other members of Parliament's Police Committee, Lisa and Nicholas Gotzel, were returning from a work trip when their vehicle was ambushed in the township of Philippi on Tuesday. The assailants smashed the car's windows with bricks, injuring Cameron and Gotzel. Cameron, whose teeth were broken, retaliated by opening fire, injuring one of the attackers. Police said 2 teenagers, aged 16 and 18, had been arrested while they investigate a case of attempted murder and attempted hijacking. Still in that country, South Africa's Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Gayton Mackenzie is under investigation by the country's Human Rights Commission for historical social media posts containing a highly offensive racial slur, reigniting a debate about racism, identity, and lingering effects of colonialism and apartheid. Mackenzie, an anti-immigrant populist from the colored community with a history of stirring up controversies, was given a Wednesday evening deadline by the South African Human Rights Commission SAHRC to issue an approved apology, undergo sensitivity training, donate to an agreed charity, and delete the exposts which were still online at the time of publication. The post came to light after the host of the podcast called Open Chat said on an episode that colored people committed incest and were crazy. The podcast segment was later removed. Now we're still in Africa. Ghanaian journalist Godwin Asediba has won the 2025 BBC News Komla Dumo Award. The investigative reporter, filmmaker, news anchor, who is the 10th recipient of the accolade, works with TV3 and 3FM in Ghana. His stories have also appeared on several international broadcasts. The 29-year-old often focuses on human interest stories, aiming to expose injustice and amplify the voices of marginalized communities. The award, now a decade old, was created to honor Dumo, a Ghanaian journalist and presenter for BBC World News, who died suddenly aged 41 in 2014. In the meantime, the World Health Organization (WHO) says it's time to end the corporal punishment of kids, as over half of the children under 18 worldwide continue to experience corporal punishment on an annual basis. WHO, in a new report, revealed that corporal punishment remained alarmingly widespread and caused significant harm to children's health and development. Over the past decades, many studies have examined the effects of corporal punishment, and not one has found that it has a positive impact on children or their behavior. In contrast, many have found that it has many long-term negative health impact on children as individuals and societies as a whole. A study conducted across 49 low and middle income countries found that children who were corporally punished are 24% less likely to be developmentally on track with their peers. In addition to causing immediate physical harm, this form of punishment heightens children's hormonal stress levels, which can actually change brain structure and function. The report noted that the impact on an individual level can be lifelong. And from a societal perspective, children who are themselves physically punished are also more likely to do the same to their own offspring, creating an intergenerational cycle of violence. Similarly, adults who are corporally punished as children are more likely to develop violent, criminal, and aggressive behaviors. The report emphasizes that banning corporal punishment is important but not enough, noting that studies have found that there is no consistent association between legal bans and decreased rates of physical punishment. Corporal punishment refers most frequently to hitting children, but can refer to any punishment inflicted by parents, caregivers, or teachers which are intended to cause some degree of discomfort. We shall be going on a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you stories from Nigeria. Keep watching Aneke TV.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
You're still watching Round the Globe on Aneke TV. Now we'll bring you stories from Nigeria. The Benin-Owena River Basin Development Authority has inaugurated 5 solar power boreholes and overhead infrastructures in various host communities. Also, the authority commissioned the police post and lodge in Obayanto, Edo area, where Edo Area Water Factory in Auchi, Yameru Farmland, Cassava and Maize Farm at Owena, and water project in Ekiti State. They also donated Hilux trucks to enhance security. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Dr. Olufemi Adekombi, revealed this at a press briefing held at the headquarters of the authority in Obayanto, Benin, Edo State, as part of programs marking the management's 100 days in office. Adekombi said that the boreholes are situated in Obayanto, Ekosa, Owanoba, Agbomoba, and Iyanomi, which are all host communities of BORBDA. Then moving ahead, the death toll from Tuesday's dawn terror attack on worshippers at Ogunwan Mantu community in Malufashi local government area of Katsina State has risen to 32. The assailants, identified as bandits, stormed the community mosque at about 5 a.m. while residents were observing Fajr prayers. They opened fire on the worshippers in what officials described as a reprisal assault. Earlier reports had put the number of dead at 13. However, during a condolence visit to the community on Wednesday by a state government delegation, it was confirmed that 32 people had lost their lives, while an unverified number of residents were abducted. Moving on, the Police Service Commission has withheld the promotion of 179 assistant superintendents of police. The commission added that 176 of the affected officers had already retired, while the remaining 3 were dead. In a statement by its spokesman, Mr. Aneke, the PSC said the affected officers were unfit for the promotion exercise. Mr. Ani, who also said 952 ASPs were elevated to the next rank of deputy superintendents. In the meantime, there was panic in the Lakowe community of Ibejuleki local government area of Lagos State after a skipmaker identified simply as Austin was found dead with machete cuts. It was gathered that some suspected cultists stormed the area in the early hours of the day in search of the deceased. On locating his apartment, they allegedly dragged him out of his room and hacked him to death on the spot. A resident who testified on the condition of anonymity due to security reasons said the assailants also cut off Austin's hand in the process. Also, the Anambra State government, through the Agone Chamber security outfit, has dismissed 8 of its operatives for their involvement in the brutal assault and public stripping of a National Youth Service Corps member, Miss Jennifer Eloho. Ken Akayi, the special advisor to the state governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, on community security, stated this at the Agone Chamber headquarters in Oka on Wednesday. Akayi said the state government acted swiftly after receiving disturbing reports about the incident, adding that the dismissed operatives would be handed over to the police for immediate prosecution. He said the operatives, while in pursuit of suspected cultists on July 23, assaulted corps members, an action which he described as totally outside the mandate of the agency and utterly condemnable. In education, Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has approved the suspension of 3 government officials recommended by the State Assembly. In a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary, Kula Teso, said and made available to journalists on Wednesday, Ali attributed the suspension to his belief in the rule of law. The suspended government officials are the chairman of the State Universal Basic Education, Grace Adagba, chairman of Otukpo Local Government, Maxwell Ogiri, and executive secretary of the Benue State Lottery Commission, Michael Upa. Now to some political matters. There are strong indications that the November National Convention of the People's Democratic Party scheduled for Ibadan, Oyo State, may be derailed following a threat by the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, to halt the event. Wike's opposition to the convention is believed to be the result of his rift with his erstwhile ally, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, and other unresolved issues in the party. Ahead of the elective convention stated for November 16, the PDP has, however, issued a stern warning to the minister over his moves against the party's plans. PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Olagunagba, in an interview with selected journalists in Abuja on Wednesday, cautioned that decisive action under the party's constitution would be taken against him should he continue to undermine the collective interests of the party. And that's all we have for you on Round the Globe and Aneke TV. To end the news, here are the main points. And to end the news here at the main point, Israel has said it has begun the preliminary actions of a planned ground offensive to capture and occupy all of Gaza City and already has a hold on its outskirts. The International Criminal Court (ICC) has rejected new sanctions announced by the United States targeting 4 of its personnel, marking a renewed escalation related to investigations involving U.S. and Israeli officials. The sanctions are directed at Judges Kimberly Proust of Canada and Nicolas Guillouet of France, as well as 2 deputy prosecutors, Nazat Shamim Khan of Fiji and Mame Mandiaye Niang of Senegal. The Naira yesterday recorded its 3rd consecutive depreciation against the dollar at the official foreign exchange market, despite the country's external reserves rising to $41 billion. We also told you that the Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority has inaugurated 5 solar power poreholes and overhead infrastructures in various host communities. That was the news. For breaking news and eyewitness reports, please call 0703 043 7110, or you can send us messages across all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I am Aneke. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, 042. Thank you for joining us today. You're tuned in to Sunrise on Aneke TV, your go-to guide for a bright and informed morning. I'm Deborah Nwaka Oba, coming to you live from our studio here in vibrant Enugu.
And I'm Uche Osai. Wherever you are, at home, in your office, or in traffic, thank you for letting us into your space this lovely Thursday morning. We're always here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
And today is Thursday, August 21, 2025. And of course, like always, we are here with your full lineup of news, weather, trending stories, and that special sunrise vibe to help you begin the day.
So, relax, sip your tea or coffee, enjoy the ride because sunrise is here.
And firstly, we would start off with our quote of the day with words that are always educative, encouraging, and worth drawing insight from to ensure that we are always focused, well-driven, and open to growth.
And right after that, we'll give you today's newspaper headlines. All the key updates you need will be served hot and tasty.
We've also got your weather report for the day, covering cities across the southeast, which will help you get well prepared and good to go.
And later, we will take you through today's celebration to lift your spirit.
Okay, and to our quote of today, it's coming from no other person but William Shakespeare. And in his quote, he said, "Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none." I repeat, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. And what he means by love all means show kindness, compassion, and goodwill to everyone. Treat people with respect regardless of who they are. And then trust a few, he means while you can be kind to all, not everyone deserves your full trust. Trust should be reserved for those who have truly proven themselves reliable and genuine. And when he says do wrong to none, he also is saying that we should live in a way that doesn't harm others. Avoid actions that would intentionally hurt people, whether in words or in deeds. In short, Shakespeare is saying we should live with kindness and love, that we should be wise about whom we place our trust in, and always strive to do no harm. I don't know if you have anything to add to this, Mr. Uche.
You've said it all. There's nothing to add to it. Let love lead. Love is the basics.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's true. And as usual, please always remember that each new sunrise is an opportunity for us, or a platform meant for us to grow, to try something new or something different, and to learn every day, or simply be present and active in what we do. Please let us know what this quote means to you. Drop your thoughts on Facebook, X, Instagram, or right here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. And we'll be going on a short break. After, when we return, we will take the weather update. Please stay tuned.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
And you're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Stay tuned as we take a look at today's weather across major cities in the southeast.
Firstly, we have Awka, the capitals of Anambra State. In Awka, expect a little rain in the morning, but the rest of the day will stay cloudy. Temperatures will reach about 27 degrees Celsius during the day and cool down to around 21 degrees Celsius at night.
And in Enugu, the skies will be mostly cloudy, and there's a good chance of scattered thunderstorms as the day goes on. The day's high will be about 29 degrees Celsius, with lows near 22 degrees Celsius.
And moving over to Abakaleke, it will also be a cloudy day, and by the afternoon, widely separated thunderstorms could appear. Expect a high of 28 degrees Celsius and a low of 22 degrees Celsius.
For Owerri, the weather stays mostly cloudy. You might get a stray thunderstorm into the afternoon, but it won't be widespread. Temperatures will be, however, around 29 degrees Celsius during the day and 22 degrees Celsius at night.
And lastly, in Umahia, the morning may bring a brief shower or two, but afterward, it's mostly thick clouds for the rest of the day. The high will be at 29 degrees Celsius and the low about 22 degrees Celsius.
So, wherever you are in the southeast today, dress light. Keep your umbrella close. Rain or shine, we've got you covered. That's your weather report today. We'll be right back with more updates.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Let's see what's making front page news today in The Nation, Punch, Vanguard, and The Guardian newspapers. On today's show, we have again our in-house analyst, Mrs. Chiwendu Ifeoluwankwo. Thank you for joining us once again, Mrs. Chiwendu.
Thank you very much, Ms. Deborah and Mr. Sai.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So moving over to the headlines on The Nation. Nigeria projects $1 billion in trade investment from Japan summit. Now on the Punch headlines, we have Wike Makinde rift threatens high-stakes PDP convention. Now over to the Vanguard headlines, we have anger over planned pay rise for political office holders. Then in the Guardian headlines, we have road tax scheme stalls after delivering 2.6 trillion naira projects. As the Nation headlines reports that Nigerian projects $1 billion in trade investments from Japan summit. And you could actually say this is a positive development for Nigeria's economy in order to strengthen trade relations with Japan? Mrs. Chiwendu?
Of course, the other week we were talking about some papers, some dailies carried the news that our president joining this trip he made to Japan, Brazil, that will make him now the highest traveled president. That was of the view that so long as the travel was geared towards bringing in the best, bringing in investments into the country, making the economy not just to stabilize but to grow, helping us lead towards the right direction, that I wouldn't mind that. So now seeing the outcome from there, it is said that iron sharpened iron. He went there, and from the course of the conference, they were able to come up with something. No, that means maybe this will help us to get to where we are going. So that was what made them to get the projection of that $1 billion
Yes.
dollars projection of what they will be working towards to. I want to believe that conference, that program he went for, it is really a viable one, a good one, that at least it was able to stir something positive in him that gave rise to this projection. That's my take on that, Mr. Sai. What do you think?
You're right. That should be, the president is naturally supposed to be in high spirits, doing and cashing in on any opportunity to bring in investment. The headline says projects $1 billion.
Projection.
$1 billion. Even at the end of the day, if it doesn't get to 1 billion, expectedly, we are supposed to get something from that conference and exhibition in China. But at the end of the day, I think one thing the president needs to do is they really need to vet the people that work with him, the people he entrusts with responsibilities. Why do I say this? I have seen a lot of comments from Nigerians who are in Japan. People who have gone to this fair hoping to leverage the opportunity that this presents, only to be left with the usual Nigerian scenario. Attitude. Other countries, their booths were up and running at the opening of the fair. But Nigerians were nowhere to be seen. The Japanese investors and that want to interact, leverage the opportunity, were left stunned and with complaints. One thing I know about the Japanese, in their mode of operation is that they value presence, they value reliability, relationship. These are the things they count more on before they build a business relationship. Yes. Now, I want to read something out so that you begin to get the whole picture. Yes, this is from Nigerian Ministry over there. It says, contrary to a tweet made by a participant at the TICAD, the Nigerian booth at TICAD 9 has not yet been opened. The booth will be officially inaugurated on Thursday, 21st August 2025, after which it will become fully operational and serve the delegates of TICAD, right? How many days after the event has been officially opened? And you're taking extra day? 2 days to now do an official opening.
That's true.
You want to do an official opening for a booth where you have to market your nation. Granted, like this tweet said, that what the Nigerians they are complaining is not true. But this tweet is a pointer to something fundamentally wrong with us.
But I'm not seeing preparedness there.
Yes. So that's why you see the Japanese there, from all the information I've been able to piece together, are complaining that when they went to the Kenyan the treatment, everything was opposite of what they saw with Nigerians.
Okay.
Only God knows the number of entourage that were booked for this event. And then yet, not even one official was there to even tell people that, okay, we've not inaugurated our booth, we'll take extra 2 days, maybe we'll put it on a Saturday, the usual or one day for us.
No preparation.
Nothing.
It means that could it be that they don't know that such things happen?
It's not about not knowing. It's the usual Nigerian attitude to things.
No, I'm arriving at somewhere.
Okay.
If they actually know that this is the way they run this fair, it means that even before leaving here, plans should have been on ground that on arrival, the booth should be open for our people there to come in and start showcasing what they have.
Yes.
So that we'll start making contacts, building relations immediately. Straight away.
Miss Chuen, from all I've been able to piece together, Nigerians there were in high spirit to leverage this opportunity, and the Japanese, everybody was, from what I've read, they were keen to interact with Nigerians, and nobody was there. That's why when I opened my statement, I said it's commendable for the president to project, but the people who saddle responsibility matters. It then means that they are not kicking in the same direction with the president. How are you going to attract $1 billion with this level of attitude?
From the air?
No, we will inaugurate it on Saturday. Official inauguration of a
when will
booth.
the fair finish? So how long will it run? When your counterpart, started almost the same day that the fair opened to start running their own booth, start building relations, start making contacts.
No. So this is it. You know, I keep saying in this country, it's like the more we move forward, the more we are at some point. Yes.
So we call that progressive. Okay, retrogressing progressively.
I don't know the word for it, but it shows lack of seriousness in everything that we do. No, we'll do a one day. We'll sow Ashebi. We'll sow Ashebi.
Over every.
No, we'll sow Ashebi. We'll sow Ashebi. We'll bring what they call them. Talking drum. And then.
And get trained.
Yes. Yes.
Make it big.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Instead of the Thursday that he's talking about, which is today, for a fair that is already
almost closing.
Let's leave it to Saturday, our usual one day, so that they will know that Nigeria has arrived.
Yes.
They will be there waiting for
Exactly,
us. Yeah.
exactly. Okay, thank you very much for that. And moving over to the punch line, the punch headlines, we have Wike, Makinde, and Makinde Reef threatens high-stakes PDP conversion. This headline points to political tension within the PDP, a rift between two influential figures like Wike and Makinde. Now, will this cause a division in the party? Do you think this would cause a division? Because knowing fully well that Wike and Makinde they are from the same political party, which is the PDP.
You know, Aneke, I wouldn't. I don't even know how to start addressing this man's issue.
Okay.
He has started seeing himself as a demigod.
He is a demigod.
That says, and it will stand, because in this news, this story, you read a line where he said, they must do as I said. When I got to that line, I screamed. I said, Jesus, what is this with this man? What does he mean? Is this a party? Like, not a private, a personal affair. It's not personal property. So why are you trying to treat it as if it's just yours? This is where we have different individuals who have come together sharing the same philosophy, the same principle. Yes, we agree that in every, let's say, gathering or group, there's bound to be different views. And the fracas has already been created. It's already there. The crack is already there. We know that. But these people are trying to know if they will be able to harmonize the house so that they'll be able to get ready come 2027. But Wike already has his own allies who are subservient to him, who are answerable, if I should put it that way, to him. So he determines who becomes the vice chairman, the secretary. Anything contrary to that, Wike will say a no to a party, not an individual stuff. So what is he trying to what? That means all the peace moves they are making towards bringing harmony to the house. As long as it is going against Wike's principles and ideals, he's not for that. He kicks against it. And that goes to show that this thing is even deeper than we are looking at it in the surface. Yes, it's not just what we are. I'm beginning to see it as if there's some external influence using him as an apparatus to make sure that this stability these people are talking about never comes to maturity or fruition. And he's actually dancing to the gallery, dancing to the tune of whomsoever that is beating that drum for him.
Yes.
It's so sad.
Wike, let me start by saying, who in the PDP will say otherwise when Wike has spoken? No, who in the PDP?
It's laughable.
Who in the PDP will say otherwise when Wike has spoken?
It's laughable.
And I ask again, is there no honor among thieves? Then, the saying is right that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Remember the G5. Do you remember the G5? The Ashebi wearing governors. In less than 3 years already, and they are falling apart. What are Anike's complaints? I listened to him, I think 2 nights ago. Yes. I listened to an interview he granted. He said he's not aware. He is not aware of the convention.
But you said
He said he's not aware. He has not been notified about the NEC meeting. That as far as he's concerned, there was no NEC meeting to determine when the convention will hold.
no, that's the back in the
I'm telling you what he said.
Okay.
I watched him grant an interview. He said, as far as he is concerned, no NEC meeting has held. He is not aware. They've not informed him
About it.
Yes, about Ibadan convention. What are his grounds? He said he's dissatisfied with the South Caretaker Committee, a committee that was constituted by the PDP National Working Committee. He said he doesn't approve of Odefa as National Vice Chairman of Southeast.
No, I want you to be getting it. He as a person in a party matter.
I'm trying to quote him. He said he was Dan Obi recognized as National Vice Chairman, South. Do you get it? Now, I go back to my earlier question. Who in the PDP will say otherwise?
When he has not spoken.
Yes.
Okay.
Because what is really going on? One single individual. Yes, I agree that he was aggrieved that PDP treated him poorly. But should PDP die at the expense of one man's grievance and happiness? The likes of Atiku, Tambuwa has left the party. What else does he want?
If he's not comfortable, he should leave there.
What else does he want?
There are other places to find yourself in. Okay, look at what
now, why is it that I want to ask? That's why I'm asking this question. All of them in PDP, if they are not in his pocket, those of them that are left in the PDP, if they are not in Wike's pocket, if there's nothing he's holding against them, can't he be expelled from the party?
That's exactly
For anti-party activities?
That has constitution.
Yes.
That is legally registered, like functioning on its own.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to find it difficult to wrap my head
There's something going on behind.
Said, okay, I don't think. Okay, our group is meeting tomorrow, and obviously, I don't think we'll allow injustice to prevail. I can assure you that we will not allow it. Nobody serves the interest of the PDP more than I do. None of them. Really? So you are the only one who cares about PDP, who takes care of PDP more than, so you are more PDP than every other member of the PDP.
He who pays the piper, who pays the tune.
He said again, I am not aware of the convention. If notice of a meeting is not given to members of the, we will have the right to challenge it, and nobody can deny that right.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
Yes. But they are saying from Makinday's end, they had this NEC meeting where they now reached the agreement to have the convention at Ibadan. So what is he saying?
The godfather of the PDP, Wike, is telling you that he's not aware of any NEC meeting.
And that's why everything is.
So the question I'm telling you, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. Wike is holding something against them. If not, they should be man enough to call a spade a spade.
A spade and not a big spoon.
Call him out for anti-party activities. One person cannot hold the party ransom.
I am telling you.
Yes, the secretary to the PDP has come out to say that it has got to a point where they have to take action.
Yeah.
And indeed, if they are serious at rebate, if PDP is serious at rebate, it's time to stand their ground and call Wike to order. What does he hold against them?
Expel him.
Yes, what does he hold against him? Besides, this is why do we keep going around Wike? And PDP is not serious, if I may put it that way, because they are telling us about the rebate of the PDP. They want to hold a convention where they will elect officers. Then we'll see to it that 2027 they go into the field to have a PDP president. you cannot put your house in order.
Yes, where there is disunity.
When a member of your neck is telling you that he will do everything to make sure that a president of the opposition is elected.
And that your convention you are trying to
something is amiss. Your governors are still in the party. They are still part of the NEC meeting, and they are endorsing a president of the opposition.
So what
kind of house are you building? The likes of Aneke will continue to talk, because the PDP, as far as I'm concerned, till this hour are no longer manly enough to stand their ground. So there's something they are not telling us, and that leaves me with the feeling that he is still funding the party. That's why he will determine what happens.
Okay, I see your point. Okay, thank you very much for that. And now we're moving over to the Vanguard headline. It says, anger over planned pay rise for political office holders. We could see sometime in the newspaper last week that the government had planned to increase rise in paying political office holders, and then the reflects is growing from public dissatisfaction that many Nigerians feel political leaders already enjoy huge benefits while the average citizen struggle with rising cost of living, but yet the government still insists on increasing the pay towards political office holders. Do you have anything to say on this?
I think we flogged this issue the other day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we flogged this issue the other day. But if we were to still do justice to this headline, if I were in this government, I would do everything humanly possible to see that a headline like this doesn't come up.
Yeah.
Because this makes of insensitivity on their part.
Selfishness.
Do you understand?
Yes.
We are talking about a country where the common man are still reeling from the effects of your policy calculations. Immediately you assumed office. We are just about start talking about stabilizing the economy. And begin to talk about growing economy and see the economic benefits, how to cushion the effects of the you created.
Yes.
And you're talking about increasing for people who doesn't depend on this salary.
They don't depend on this salary.
That's true.
Their takeaways, their allowances, that's what they live on. We know how much their security vote alone, just that one. So don't talk about.
So what do they do? What do they do with the security vote?
All right.
That's 1.5 million, and 1 million for minister is what they would need to be more comfortable. We provide health care for them. Yes, the president goes to take care of his health at anytime he wishes. The ministers are catered and provided for. Down to the petrol in their car, the country provides it. And at a point when minimum wage of 70,000 cannot take a lot of people home or take care of a family of 5, and you're telling those suffering Nigerians that you want to increase their salary. That's insensitivity of the highest order. At a point when people are faced with insecurity, at a point where you should be more committed to see that the plight of the common man on the street is alleviated.
It was Arewa Consultative Forum National Publicity Secretary, Baba Tukar, professor, who was saying that the only thing they will say now regarding this headline, whether rise or whatever, that will make sense to him is for them to start to describe or propose on how to reduction in their drastic, he used the word drastic reduction in their earnings. And then he can sit up to say, let's talk. Because it is so huge. Forget the 1.5, that one is, the more you look, the less you see with that one. We are talking, the main gist is behind the allowances they go home with at the end of every month. So when they begin to look into it, talk about how to reduce it so that it will help to build, to grow the economy, because if those excesses will be able to be, or if they will slash it and haul back that into the economy, it will go a long way. I mean, it will go a long way to help the system to grow. We are at the stage of beginning to grow the economy, and we use every necessary means or channel to do that. So why have they refused, or are they feigning that they don't know that they are going home with Hugo's amount of allowances that are not even, that is not called for? They should be able to look into it and cut it down, slash it down. Their conscience, if they still have anyone that's still living and active and working, should be able to tell them, direct them. This 1.5 is enough. I know that at that level they are. These things are no longer their problem.
Yes.
You've hit the nail on the head.
It's no longer their problem.
At this point in time, we should be talking about cutting the cost of governance.
I am telling you.
Listening to Mr. Chris Anibog yesterday, he talked about the SAs, SSA,
The
TAA, EAA, and all the A's that you have. The cost of governance is high. Nobody is talking about reducing the cost of governance. Have you seen the convoy of a governor? Have you seen the convoy of a minister?
There are a lot.
Have you seen the convoy of a commissioner?
Fleet of cars.
You have public officials boasting of being able to afford cars of over 500 million. And nobody is asking questions.
How do you get
And then you're telling the man whose take home cannot take him home that you want to increase the salary of someone who is already buying a car of 500
Who
million.
doesn't need it?
Come on.
It was that show that is saying, how can the president be taking 1.5? And
You know what I see here? 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 I think there's a word they say, is it psychophancy? Yes, somebody wants to impress Mr. President.
Because somebody somewhere.
I can't imagine it that this president would welcome such conversation or would engineer such. Somebody wants to impress him. Somebody wants to get his attention. Somebody wants to be recognized, to be seen, to be seen as.
Someone wants to be in his good book.
Do you understand? So, and the earlier we do away with such things and care about the sensibilities of the normal people, the citizens, the better for us.
Yes.
If we imagine our policies, imagine our direction, there are better things that we should be talking about now.
And not
even at this point in time where we want to commend the president for the security measures he has taken that are beginning to see tiny effects, impacts, and then you're bringing this headline. No.
That's true. That's true. Thank you. And speaking of security, we have a trending story yet in Anambra State that happened couple of days ago at Oba, Idemili, Anambra State, concerning a corp member who was harassed by vigilante by name, her name one Mrs. Eloho
Jennifer.
Okay, Edema Eloho Jennifer, a 22-year-old female, if I'm not mistaken, that she was being physically attacked and stripped naked by the armed vigilante. I don't know, and then I don't know the take on it. I read somewhere that the government have actually said something concerning this issue, that where they had to sack this vigilante. I think there were about 7 of them or so, where they had to sack them and also strip them of their rights, collect their weapons, and just
if that is the
go
only,
that way.
If that is the only punishment, for me, that means nothing has been done to them.
That's true.
Did you watch the video?
I watched the video.
Oh, it was so inhumane. So for what? What was our offense? Were they able to tell us what our offense really were? Why would you treat any human being like that? Meanwhile, she's a core member. And she made people understand that she's a core member, serving core member. So what moved you? What still made you to go ahead to manhandle her the way you did? I have not heard from the governor. I think everybody is actually waiting for the governor to speak. Yes.
We are waiting for the governor to speak. You know, lots of time we'll sit in this studio and then we'll berate the government But at the end of the day, we don't love ourselves. These so-called vigilantes, I suppose they are from the same community. What's their portfolio? Provide security, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of providing security,
I
become
think they are called Ugoge Chamber. Be something like that. Ugone Chamber.
Ugone Chamber.
Yes.
Okay. Then they now turn around to become Ugone Rimba.
To become security threats.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
A core member who is serving the nation.
The nation.
I begin to imagine when I was a core member as well. I remember one incident that never leaves my head. I made the mistake of my life of going to the market to go and buy food items. I was serving in a polytechnic then. So, innocently, I strayed into the market to buy food items. And then I wanted to buy fish. I went to one woman. I just needed one piece of fish, and please, we couldn't communicate, language barrier. So I was using my hand, and she was trying to, while I was saying I needed one, she kept packing fish, bringing as many fishes as possible, and I was like, one. I was looking for help for somebody to, at the end of the day, someone else came who is able to interpret and communicate as well, and it was like, she said, you are my daughter's teacher, and all the fish. I was rejecting this fish, and the woman said no. I had no choice. Everybody said, I had to. So in my lunch, that everybody ate fish. What am I trying to say? The reverence, the respect
It's pure.
that I left my own state, my village, my mother's comfort.
Yeah, your comfort zone.
And I came to serve. I was treated like royalty. And then someone who the government pays her salary had the effrontery to lay hands on a core member. The question I want to ask at this time is, what is Brigadier General Olushe saying about this? What has he said? Because this core member happens to be under his care. You're telling me that they've been said to have been sacked, right? That's not enough. It has to be prosecuted.
Yes.
How can you dehumanize a Nigerian? A Nigerian is not just a Nigerian. This Nigerian is serving Nigeria.
Yes.
Like at this point now,
I heard she's
with stress of doing unholy things to her. I can't say that.
Even if she
I
did
can't say that on
something
air.
wrong.
Do you understand? And you had to strip her naked like a common criminal.
Exactly.
And you were told that this person is a core member who is serving Nigeria.
you went ahead to do what you did to her.
Has he gotten this badge? Then I ask, if you were in St. Limes, there's no way the governor, at this point in time, either the governor will have tendered apology and resigned for failure of leadership because the buck stops on his table. He wouldn't be seeking re-election. I've been waiting to hear what the governor had to say.
I'm actually waiting for that.
What he has to say.
I think the only thing that was said was there was going to be physiology and psychological treatment given to her.
Is that enough? Yes, the lady has to undergo some psychological care because she has been abused and dehumanized. But the governor, what is he doing about it? It means that the governor has failed at his job, the little job he has.
You constituted
And
these
another
people.
thought, what was done to those vigilantes?
That's the thing.
They said
Just
sacked.
to go home.
Just sacked.
By now,
No, they can't just be sacked.
no, they had to be prosecuted. They had to be prosecuted. What I'm saying, the governor failed at his job. These people were then not vetted. You gave arms to psychological imbalanced human beings. Anybody who could do that to another human being is psychologically imbalanced. The person is as worse as is supposed to be in the zoo or in the wild. You can imagine. I kept thinking, when I saw that name, even at this moment, I have struggled. I've been researching to know because I know a Jane, but I don't know if it's a Jennifer and Edema. You understand? And I know it's from a state from there, but I don't know the particular place. I've been ravaging through Facebook and everything and trying to make communication and see. Do you understand? And then I began to imagine. Yes, she is my sister, but what if is my blood? And my mother has to watch her daughter being treated that way. Come on. Mr. President, the DG of NYSC,
please,
Attorney General of the Federation, every human rights organization, women rights organization, it's time to stand up and act. No Nigerian should be treated such. No Nigerian should be treated that way in Nigeria. How can other Nigerians courageously stand up to go to other states to say they want to serve the fatherland?
That's true.
The governor, I am sorry, but I will boldly and courageously say that you failed at it.
you did, though.
Well, thank you very much for that and for your opinions. And please, as usual, do not forget you can also grab physical copies at your favorite vendor or catch the e-paper online. And after the break, it's time to unwind a little with a celebration. Please stay with us.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world. Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV, and today we have a celebration which is the International Day of Remembrance and Tribute to the Victims of Terrorism. Now this is an annual observance on August 21st, designated by the United Nations General Assembly in 2017. This day serves a vital purpose to honor and support the victims and survivors of terrorism nationwide, and to promote and protect their human rights and fundamental freedoms. Now, the purpose of the day is The purpose of the day is in terrorism in all forms and manifestation is one of the most serious threats to international peace and security. While the world often focuses on the geopolitical and security aspect of terrorism, the human cost is immense and often overlooked. The International Day of Remembrance seeks to address this day by honoring victims, also by giving a voice to survivors, and then also we have another purpose is to promote human rights or encouraging solidarity. It calls on the international community to stand in with victims, recognizing the shared global challenge of terrorism. Another purpose is also to emphasize the role of victims in counter-terrorism. Now, the day recognizes the crucial role that victims can play in countering terrorism and also to counter terrorism and also prevent violent extremism by sharing their experiences to one another. They can provide powerful messages of peace, resilience, and hope. Now, the impact of terrorism on victims. It's during victim attack does not end when the immediate news cycle fades. Victims and survivors often face a long term of psychological problem or physiological problem. So they have this mentality that maybe one day this is going to happen to them again. Now, please let us know what you're celebrating today in your various place or wherever you're watching from, and then share with us on our social media handles at YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, all on Aneke TV. And it's a wrap on today's edition of Sunrise. Thank you for staying with us to this very moment. It's always a pleasure to wake up with you. I am Deborah Mwakoba.
And Uche Osai. Stay good, be unique, and remember, keep watching Aneke TV till come your way same time tomorrow. Salute.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Who is a woman? She is not just born, she is awakened. A woman carries history in her hands and possibility in her steps. She is a daughter, mother, dreamer, healer, not made to follow, but to walk beside. Not to be silenced, but to speak life. She builds from fragments and sings over scars, Where others see endings, she dares to begin again. Her silence is loud and her presence is a protest against every force that tried to diminish her. To know a woman is to glimpse the divine. For in her voice is rhythm, in her womb is the future, and in her soul the sacred strength that has shaped the earth itself.
Mbani mona abara ogene, mbani mona abara ogene, asini Igbo ga-abụ ya ogene efi, eku mmanwụ na oho.
Ogene is a metal bell historically made by the Igbo people and considered as one of the most important metal instruments in Igbo traditional music. When struck with a wooden stick, it produces a sharp resonant tone. It is a symbol of Igbo identity and heritage, passed down through generations. Ogene acts as a rhythmic instrument, a melodic device, a means of communication, and also used in divination and spiritual rituals. It provides the rhythmic backbone, often setting the tempo and pace for other instruments and dancers. Ogene comes in different shapes and sizes. The single bell ogene, the double-belled ogene, ogene mpenabo, with each producing different sounds. The triple-shaped ogene, ogene mpe ato, each also producing different sounds. There is also the giant single ogene, alo, that is mostly used in Igbo women cultural dances and a popular Atilogu cultural dance.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to our sports update here on Aneke TV, where we bring you the thrills and excitement from tennis courts, tracks, boxing rings, and football field across the globe. I am Uche Osai, your host for today's lineup. Let's get things rolling fast. From the world of tennis, Carlos Alcaraz and Emma Raducanu have lost their US Open mixed doubles. Britain's Raducanu and Spain's Alcaraz saw their chance of winning $1 million scuttled by fellow British Jack Draper and Jessica Pegula. They won the mixed double 4-2, 4-2. And moving to tracks, Hawkins cruises to 800-meter win in Lausanne. You will recall that this is her first race since the Olympics. She clocked 55.69 seconds, setting a record at the Diamond League meeting in Lausanne, Switzerland. Then finally, that brings us to the beautiful game of football, the game that unites fans all over the world. We will serve you latest transfer gist, league updates. First, let's start with UEFA results from Champions League playoffs yesterday. Fenerbahce and Benfica shared points. It was a goalless draw yesterday, followed by Celtic and Kherat, which equally ended 0-0. Points shared amiss. Today, lots of teams will be in action in UEFA Champions League playoffs. Check your directory to see the games. Now, coming to the world of the transfer, Arsenal hijacks Eze's bid. According to reliable sources, Arsenal have hijacked the deal from Tottenham after midfielder Eze gave his green light to a move to the Emirates Stadium. Tottenham have been complaining after they've had a conversation with Crystal Palace, hoping that this deal will come true, only to be hijacked by Arsenal in a deal that was estimated to be worth around £60 million. Napoli make Rasmus Hojlund move. The Serie A club opened talks with Denmark international as Mayu aims to sell the striker before transfer deadline. At the other end, Renato Vega set to leave Chelsea. In fact, Villarreal agreed a club record deal to sign forgotten Chelsea signing. And in Madrid, Rodrigo is set to leave Real Madrid after being left on the bench against Osasuna. His agent is said to have set up a meeting with Man City and Liverpool, the two clubs both monitoring Brazilian winger. And the most protected saga of the transfer season involving Isak still rages on as Newcastle has refused to open the door for him to seek adventures elsewhere. And this is where we draw the curtain on the line today on your sports update. Keep watching Aneke TV until we come your way same time tomorrow. I'm Uche Osai. Bye.
Sex is sacred, not shameful. In its truest form, it is more than the body. It is soul speaking to soul, fire woven with trust, vulnerability clothed in consent. But when misused, it breaks more than bodies, it fractures spirits. That is why it must be approached with reverence, not recklessness. Let us teach to love before lust, connection before conquest. For when sex is honored, it becomes not just pleasure, but poetry.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
na mbụ ọja m na-asị ekekele ụwa na ọkwa ọja ekenekwa gị n'eluigwe na ala na-ekene gị n'urukpuru na kpakpando na-ekene gị na ugwu na ndịna na-ekene gị maka ka onye si eme ka ekwe si akpụ ya ka onye si eme ka ọja si akpụ ya ihe a bụ Aneke TV.
Who is a woman? She is not just born, she is awakened. A woman carries history in her hands and possibility in her steps. She is a daughter, mother, dreamer, healer, not made to follow, but to walk beside. Not to be silenced, but to speak life. She builds from fragments and sings over scars. Where others see endings, she dares to begin again. Her silence is loud and her presence is a protest against every force that tried to diminish her. To know a woman is to glimpse the divine, For in her voice is rhythm, in her womb is the future, and in her soul the sacred strength that has shaped the earth itself.
A non-governmental organization, Aneke Pascal Onyekake Foundation, has distributed free exercise books to pupils in Community Primary School 1 and 2 in Ozam, Amechi Dodo, Nkanu East Local Government Area of Enugu State, with an encouragement to the children to take their studies seriously. The serene atmosphere of the school was agog as the team arrived the arena with over 300 children benefiting from the free exercise books. Speaking during the event, the program officer of the foundation, Obinna Obu, said the idea of sharing the books was to empower the children educationally. According to him, the foundation has put in place all the necessary measures to support the development of education in the area. He said the foundation had visited and donated books to some other schools in Enugu South, Nkanu East, and Nkanu West local government areas.
We are here, which is part of our ongoing project, which cut across distribution of educational materials to pupils of rural schools located in rural communities. So we've covered other local governments. So this another local government, another school under Nkanu East, which we've covered today. And I think our come here was successful, though the rain tried to disrupt, but to God be the glory, the aim of coming here was achieved at the end of the day.
As they are shared too.
Sure, it will be useful to them, and it's obvious on the way they collected it and their countenance and their expression of joy and the collection. We believe that by giving them these books, it will help them to do their homework, assignment, and classwork, and then take their learning serious. Thank you.
3 pupils, Sarah Obase, Chimeremeze Goodness, and Ernest Igwe, expressed joy that their school was remembered and thanked the foundation for the gesture, pledging to take their studies seriously.
I am happy, and we are happy as you give us the exercise book of Aneke. Thank you for giving us. We are happy.
I want to say you people thank you for coming and sharing the book for us.
I want to say to you people thank you for coming and sharing book for us.
Speaking, the 2 headmistresses of the Community Primary School 1 and 2, Ozam Amechi Dodo, Mrs. Regina Ngozi, and Magdalene Ume, thanked the foundation for their humanitarian efforts by providing free books to the children, saying that the books will motivate the pupils.
All I have to say is thank you, Lord. We really appreciate your coming. We are happy. It's real good. We are happy for the foundation have shared up to let's say 500 exercise books to the children, and children also we are happy that they receive this gift from you people. We appreciate you and your foundation, and we pray that God will continue to guide you.
Even my purpose are excited. I appreciate you people for coming, at least to show us that this type of thing is in existence. Because if people are not here, we will not have known that you are in existence, that this such a thing is even in existence. So we appreciate it.
Mr. Levinus Ibuaba, an indigene of Amechi Dodo, thanked the foundation for sharing free books to the children and also encouraged them to do more. He also encouraged the pupils to take their studies seriously, that with the books shared to them, it will be very helpful to their studies.
I'm very excited. When I heard that your people are coming, I was overwhelmed, because I know that coming here will cushion the effects of the cost of education in the life of the parents of the pupils. An adage in our locality that says no okachako. No, just meaning that whomever eats his yam, that one is the highest farmer. So Aneke has remembered us. Aneke is the greatest. I'm happy with them, and I pray that God will strengthen them the more.
The school environment was filled with happiness as the book distribution continues.
For Aneke TV, it's been Chiwendo Ifeonwankwo reporting.
Mbari mo na agbara ogene, mbari mo na agbara ogene, asị n'Igbo ga-abụ ya ogene efi, eku mmanwụ na oho.
Ogene is a metal bell historically made by the Igbo people and considered as one of the most important metal instruments in Igbo traditional music. When struck with a wooden stick, it produces a sharp resonant tone. It is a symbol of Igbo identity and heritage, passed down through generations. Ogene acts as a rhythmic instrument, a melodic device, a means of communication, and also used in divination and spiritual rituals. It provides the rhythmic backbone, often setting the tempo and pace for other instruments and dancers. Ogene comes in different shapes and sizes. The single bell ogene, the double belled ogene, ogene mpenabo, with each producing different sounds. The triple shaped ogene, ogene mpe ato, each also producing different sounds. There is also the giant single ogene, alo, that is mostly used in Igbo women cultural dances and a popular Atilogu cultural dance.
Sex is sacred, not shameful. In its truest form, it is more than the body. It's a soul speaking to soul, fire woven with trust, vulnerability clothed in consent. But when misused, it breaks more than bodies, it fractures spirits. That is why it must be approached with reverence, not recklessness. Let us teach to love before lust, connection before conquest. For when sex is honored, it becomes not just pleasure, but poetry.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
na mbụ ọja m na-asị ekekele ụwa na ọkwa ọja ekenekwa gị n'eluigwe na ala na-ekene gị n'urukpuru na kpakpando na-ekene gị n'ugwu na ndịna na-ekene gị maka ka onye si eme ka ekwe si akpụ ya ka onye si eme ka ọja si akpụ ya ihe a bụ Aneke TV.
Who is a woman? She is not just born, she is awakened. A woman carries history in her hands and possibility in her steps. She is a daughter, mother, dreamer, healer, not made to follow, but to walk beside. Not to be silenced, but to speak life. She builds from fragments and sings over scars. Where others see endings, she dares to begin again. Her silence is loud and her presence is a protest against every force that tried to diminish her. To know a woman is to glimpse the divine. For in her voice is rhythm, in her womb is the future, and in her soul the sacred strength that has shaped the earth itself.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Good morning and welcome to Insight, where we explore the heartbeat of politics and the voice of the people here on Aneke TV. Today, we will look at issues, headlines that shape our nation. We'll bring you expert analysis, hot debates, and the people's voice, your neighbors in the street. Today, with me on this show is Comrade Ben Asogwa, Enugu State Chairman of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC. Mr. Ben, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's also a pleasure being here with you.
I hope it was not difficult locating us.
No.
All right.
This is a strategic place in Enugu.
All right. So let's get right into it. Comrade Ben, let's start with Enugu State. How do you assess the performance of the governor of Enugu State, Peter Ba's administration generally?
All right. Let me start with this. You know, before the governor came in during their campaign period, they made a whole lot of commitments, including other aspirants. He, in particular, made a lot of commitments. Some of those commitments we saw as things that might not be possible. But going by the way he's working, there's one thing I give to him. There's one thing so significant and so peculiar to Peter Mba as a governor. That is the fact that he pursues his goal with energy. If he tells you he wants to do this, you see him pursuing that with energy. And that is one thing that distinguishes him from other leaders in our country. Some leaders in this country, when they make statements, they take those statements as political statements. But I feel from what is going on and the way the governor acts, that most of his actions or whatever he has promised, he takes those things into heart and works towards achieving them. We're looking at it from the perspective of his promises. One thing is making effort. When you see that somebody has promised you, maybe he made a promise that he will give you this table, and you see him doing everything possible to provide the table for you. Even if at the end of the day, he did not provide exactly this table, but something that is as good, you know that this is a man that keeps to his word. So I can tell you, I may not say that he has gotten everything 100% because he's a human being. But I can tell you that when it comes to determination to do things, he has it. In fact, he is top-notch in pursuing his goals. And one of them, the issue of infrastructure. I remember when he mentioned certain things he was going to carry out. Some of us didn't see it as a possibility. And he's a kind of person that gathers so many things at the same time. If you look at the level of projects he executes, he's not concentrating on roads only, he's not concentrating on health only, he's not concentrating on education only. So even as a labor leader, I know quite well, yes, sometimes we disagree with those in public offices like government officials. But when you do something the right way, we praise you for that. So it's not like a political singing, but under the perfect statement of facts, I can tell you that his own infrastructure is grassroots oriented. And you can see that from what is happening with the smart schools and hospitals. So this is the first time we are seeing a system where the government will come to execute projects that go down the routes down to the ward level. We have 260 wards in the state, and when he started smart schools, in fact, we've been used to a situation where the sitting governor will start something and they just select where to do and do that a person will apply for him and that ends it. Then, if you come to talk, some other person will tell you, it's our own people it's our own person that is there. But for him, he took it to the 260 wards, which is commendable. Then, when it comes to the issue of security, you know, insecurity has become a problem in this part of the world. Even in the southeast, initially it wasn't that bad, but it got bad at a stage. And he came in when there was this anxiety, serious anxiety. Sit at home was still ongoing. And when he said this cannot continue this way, some people were not comfortable with that. But he insisted and pursued it until we achieved this level of at least on Mondays, we still, you know, Igbos are known for their business. In fact, we survive by our own efforts. And I was also seeing it as a dangerous thing if we had continued with the system of sitting back at home for 1 week, 2 weeks. To me, it's not like you are fighting your enemy, you are fighting yourself. Because being a kind of people that live on our own efforts, if we should come out every day and sit back in the house for 1 week, the economic implication is unimaginable. So he fought against such because he knew the consequences on us. So I can give him all those parts. Then there is also this aspect of, if you look at transportation, what they have just newly commissioned, the transport routes we now have in Enugu, and the parks that look like what you can majorly see in the airports. So those things are commendable, I must tell you. So if I should start mentioning, at least we have visible things we can see.
Comrade, now you've talked about developments, you've talked about transport. Now let me ask, can you discuss the potential benefits or the economic benefits of these to the residents of Enugu State, of these 100 CNG buses that he just launched?
Of course, the benefits are very clear, because when you talk about transportation, when you understand the effects of transportation on our economy, is if there is a shift in the petroleum pump price. And that just has to do with transportation. Once there is a shift, every other thing will begin to escalate. So if there is provision for comfort in particular, when it comes to transportation, it's kudos. And the benefit will be enormous. So, and there is only one thing I personally feel, even on a good day, I'm as the chairman of the TUC and the representative of the masses, I will also speak to him on this issue of the cost. Because we know quite well, yes, considering the comfort in those vehicles, it's worth it. But you know, our people have this mentality. We like comfort, but when it comes to spending extra dime to get the comfort, some people will say, "And I'll be wearing an AC." Just so you know that kind of thing. But if we can even be sure, that is, try as much as possible to keep it at par with the normal transportation, then you spend the same money and then enjoy transportation. There is, why I'm saying it is that the amounts they placed on those things, you see some level of little shift upwards, like 100 naira or thereabouts.
Comrade, some people will argue that before the launching of these buses, that Enugu State doesn't have a transportation issue.
See, let me tell you, transportation, we don't have transportation issues. Yes, in their own government. But what do you call transportation issue? And to me, if you say we don't have transportation issue, then the transport means won't be a problem for us. We can afford this comfortably if we say we don't have an issue. But I know quite well that even since the inception of this government, when federal government removed subsidy, it became a big issue for us. So, and that is why I believe that if anybody is thinking that we don't have transportation issue, we do. And another thing is this: providing comfortable environment for whatever you are doing, even change the mentality of the people you are in. For instance, if you go to a park where everything is done upside down, if you want to ease yourself, you turn by the corner and start doing it. But when you look at the environment and it's decent, your brain will tell you that this is not the right thing to do. And if you look at decent transportation, if you overseas, they have train, they have some other means that will make life easy. Some people may not understand the value now, but what I'm just looking at is that if it becomes more affordable than other means, irrespective of the comfort. For I can ask you and you tell me, oh, considering the comfort, that they prefer it. Even the little admission is maybe extra $100 or so. But if they can make it the same amount with normal transportation or even lower, the importance will be felt. But if anybody is saying that we don't have transport issues, we have. You may say that there are buses everywhere, but for you to be able to even control the cost that buses charge, this is what you do. You must provide this alternative for the people. And when the transporters find out that there is alternative, that is when they will not be hiking the prices any way they like. With these buses, I believe that the rate of hike at any given time they wish, like during Christmas period, you see transporters hiking the price of transportation. But with this, government will not have a means of moderating it.
Comrade, as a resident of Enugu State, if you are in a position to make the choice or to advise, comparing between the transportation system and the building of modern terminals and having a viable working water scheme in Enugu State, which would you have advised?
All right. You ask me as a person?
Yes, as a resident of Enugu State.
As a resident, knowing that water is one issue, one big problem we have that has defied so many solutions, I believe that is where it touches us most. And I give it to the governor that it was one of the first projects he pursued. But I have also come to realize that what is happening in the water sector and with regards to water supply in Enugu, some people underrated the problem and thought that it's just like putting 1 and 2 together and it will give you the arithmetical answer. No, it goes beyond that. So if you ask me as a person, I can frankly tell you that if you should place the two side by side, I would take water. If we were able to get water at every nook and cranny of the state, the impact will be enormous. That does not mean that transportation is not important. That's what I'm saying. But when we put them on the basis of priority, considering the fact that water, good water supply is a problem in Enugu, people rely on tankers and all those sources. Some people even drink water from wells without knowing whether it's contaminated by some bad elements like lead and coal. Nobody knows what the consequence could be. But because people they know that this water is clean, they drink it. It may have long-term health consequences. So I know quite well that water is a big problem for us, and if it's done, kudos to government. And I know quite well also that despite all the governor's efforts, we've not seen it at the level we expected it.
Good.
And we're still expecting something better than what it is today. Because we know that the public, the masses, they are not looking at the quantity of water you generate. They are looking at the amount they can get. If you, for instance, tell me that you generate 1 billion cubic meter water, and I can't get a cup in my own area, for me, it has not started happening. Many other areas within the metropolis still do not have water. That is the truth.
Well, comrade, why do you think subsequent governments in Enugu State, and given that this governor during campaign promised that within 180 days in office that he would provide a working water scheme for Enugu State, why do you think the previous governments have failed in this area?
In the first place, I think one thing they have to understand is that I'm seeing it from the fundamentals. That is why I said that it's not more of straightforward arithmetic where you add 1 to 2 and it will become 3. No, it goes beyond that. There is political aspect to it. There is also attitude aspect of it, and so many other factors. For instance, when the governor said he was going to provide water within 180 days, he didn't really know that the water system we have in Enugu has been there for many decades. For instance, the pipes. asbestos pipes that already have been outdated, phased off completely. In fact, it has been phased off in so many areas. So now, for you to get it right, you have to go fundamental. Another thing is that why I say that there is political aspect to it is that some people, you know, there is this saying in Igbo, some people are benefiting from the water scarcity. It's creating business for some people, and they are sabotaging the process. And unfortunately for us, where those water schemes are located is always an isolated area where somebody can go in and vandalize everything and then we end it. Then, who are the people that are giving the contracts? We have not actually gotten sincere people that will give us what we need. It's not a matter of those that go there to speak grammar. It's people who can sincerely get to the root. Even when former governor was there, he plunked in good amount of money, and there was no effect. So, and unfortunately, with the efforts of the governor with regards to the water supply, we are seeming to be at the same spot, just a little shift. So I think that the solution to the water problem in Enugu should come from a different perspective. When the former governor was there, it got to a point where he sent me and some other person to go and do investigations on the project. We came back and told him plainly that what they were even putting there weren't strong enough to pump water within that vicinity, let alone the whole of Enugu. Because we saw fabricated machines that could not do much. We kept on asking, I don't want to mention the company because I'm not here to talk about them. But the summary is that I'm talking about the 9th Mile water crash program. It was an indigenous company that was giving the contract, and they were just doing make-believe kind of project there. So we came back and made it clear to him that what they were doing wasn't going to supply water. We told him. In fact, we were about 3 that did that investigation, and we told him plainly. And we know quite well that we've not actually gotten the right people to do it, because it needs total overhauling. And when we talk about water supply, it is not something you see as a business per se. It is corporate, it's a kind of responsibility of government. If you see it that way, it will help us. If somebody is coming in and his only belief is that he will put in money and generate it in 1 month, no, that is not the essence of this water supply. So I must tell you that why the subsequent governments have not succeeded is that, one, there is in-house issue. Because when we got there, we even found out that the renovation work they said they were doing they did at so many places weren't properly done. They removed some old components, repainted them and fixed back. They also went out there to maybe camp or so and fabricated some things and put there and came back to say they have repaired. So even right now as we talk, I don't know the extent of the work that has been done, but most of those things that were done, you know, if they want to run the water scheme to work, the first thing they should do is to sit down and find out why those things are not working. There was a time also, it was discovered that those tanker people, they had machineries that go about locking or vandalizing or removing, because it's such a thing that you can remove something that looks like this cup and the whole thing will stop.
All right, comrade, talking about in-house issues, will it be safe to say that the governor lacks the political will to take decisive action that is needed to weed out the bad eggs in the system and see that Enugu State enjoys water?
No, I can't say that. You know why I said I can't say that?
Let us know.
Because when he came in as a governor, one of the major things I saw, and as an individual now, is that he made sure that he did not give room for those I may refer to as political vultures.
Who are those you refer to as political?
Yes, some people who do not. There are people who do not have any other handwork. Their only duty.
Can you mention names?
I don't want to mention names. It's not my. That is not why I'm here. I'm not here to talk about an individual.
Describe the operation.
But collectively,
describe the
such
operation.
people do not have any other thing to do. They are not practicing any other business thing. They are not running any other business except that when there is election, they will come and make a noise, show them noise value, and we will appoint them or given contracts that they can never execute. And even if they try to execute those contracts, it will be shabbily done, and the money will go down the drain. There are people that depend on what they get from the political arena, from government, to answer big men. They are big men, quite all right, but their big manism is not coming from their business, it's not coming from their professional pay or whatever, it's rather coming from political gimmicks. Right. So such people, I refer to them as political vultures. He made sure that most of them were shown the way out. He locked the door against most of them.
But some of them were appointed into offices.
There is no way, let me tell you. I'm not speaking for government. I'm not here to speak for government.
Yes.
But I'm part of government.
We
I'm also part of the system.
Yes.
And being an indigenous of Enugu and a resident of Enugu, I'm also part of the system. So we know what is going on. There is no way you come into a system and change it hook, line, and sinker. You must have some people.
There's no way you come into a system and change it hook, line, and sinker.
Let's remove everybody.
Hold that thought. If you're just joining us, this is the insight where we extract the heartbeat of politics, issues that affect our state and shape our nation. If you're just joining, we are speaking to Comrade Ben Asogwa, Enugu State Chairman of Nigerian Trade Union Congress. Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC. Comrade.
Yeah.
We are talking about political will here. At the end of the day, the buck stops on the governor's table. It is the governor's legacy, not that of the political vultures.
Yes.
So, don't you think that the state government is not doing service to the people by not weeding out these political vultures?
What I said earlier is that the present governor has weeded out a lot of them.
But not all.
But let me tell you, do you know why you cannot weed out everybody? There are people who are strategically placed. There are people who are also by policy, not meant to be removed by just, I want to remove you. For instance, I'm the chairman of TUC. Assuming I'm one of the bad eggs, the governor cannot just wake up and say, leave. Some people will say he wants to manipulate TUC. Can you understand me now? So because of it, I must have to be there.
All right, comrade.
But the most he can do is to remove those that he can remove or keep some people at a distance. But what I can tell you for sure is that some of them underrated the problem we have in the water sector. Some of them underrated it. So they felt it's just a matter of having that decision to pump in and force some actions, not knowing that there are people that must sabotage the process, and if you did not checkmate them, you will run back to square zero. To the extent that some of them, let me tell you, you saw the water galleries they built in Enugu. Which one? How many of them? Have you seen any of them work?
I have not seen.
Do you know that some people, when they put all those things there, some people went to those taps and removed all the noses. They could have sold them 5 naira or 2 naira. You see, one thing is that we should also change our character, our attitude. We shouldn't see certain things as far. See, most of those things they are doing, if we don't know that they don't belong to them, we will always think we are fighting them by destroying what belongs to us either. Because one, even if there is no drop of water in anywhere, as a governor, he will get water to drink. We should know that. Even if there is no insecurity, if there is insecurity everywhere in Enugu, as a governor, he will be protected. Therefore, anything we can do to conserve the little we have is very important. They built water galleries, and I know that well that it didn't take time, and people went to those places, cutting away the nozzles.
All right. On that note, comrade, if I don't know you, I would think that maybe the government send you to speak for them.
Because I'm sounding this way today.
Yes.
Yes, but I must be
if we are talking about national issues, I would say maybe you've started to sound like the Bayo Ononugas.
But let me tell you, that doesn't still mean that we don't have areas where we try to say,
can we hear about those areas?
Okay, let me give you an instance. When the governor came in, actually, and we were talking about wage award, he was one of the first governors that pronounced wage award, and he said in his own, you continue earning it until you transit to minimum wage. We got minimum wage. He said it was going to be 80,000 naira, and we clapped. See where we now started frowning. When it got to consequential adjustment, and they could not allow us to do consequential adjustment, we became unhappy. And up to date, we've been presenting it. We've been saying, if we did not do consequential adjustment, we will not take it that this minimum wage is complete. It's like, though a table can these days stand with one leg, But I would have so I would have said it's like a one-legged table, but you can see one-legged table standing.
So where are we at this moment?
So at this point, I'm saying that we got minimum wage, but we didn't get consequential adjustment. We didn't have to clap and say you've gotten it right because no, when we didn't do the best for us, we say it's not the best. Then I was also telling you that for the transportation, it is fantastic, it's good, but they have to make it cheaper. If they didn't make it cheaper than the regular transportation, then the impact will not be felt. We know that it's more comfortable. You go in and sit decently. It's air conditioned and wonderful. But if you didn't make it at least a little cheaper than the regular transportation, then an ordinary person like me will not see the reason to spend extra 15 naira or 100 naira because you said I will get AC.
All right. On that note, comrade, let's move up a bit for lack of time. It's been raining endorsements. We've seen opposition governors, opposition politicians endorsing the president. What is your view about this for the nation? What does it portend for the nation?
It tells you the danger we have in the system, the rot. Because in the first place, when you see opposition adopting without any categorical reason, you know that they are just looking for political protection. Because a good number of them, if you look at the way the system is running, for instance, you talk about federal government, most of the policies they are churning out are anti-people policies. We know that. And we've not seen any of those people that are doing endorsement willing to say, these ones you are doing, these policies are not going down well with us.
All right, comrade. We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
All right, you're still watching The Insight on Aneke TV, where we x-ray the heartbeat of politics, issues that affect us in the state and shape our nation. We are speaking with Comrade Ben Asogwa, Enugu State Chairman of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC. Comrade.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been an interesting conversation. But we're talking about endorsements. And I've heard the governor commend the president. Do you see this governor defecting to APC?
Well, if I say that I'm not a politician, you may doubt me. But by the meaning of being a politician, I don't think I'm one. I'm just a labor leader. And I'm not Peter Mbasa.
Based on your observation. Like I've seen you speak eloquently about the president. Some are of the view that some of these commissioning of projects, moving to the senatorial zones, are preparatory to defection.
Okay, so if I talk now, they will say maybe I'm speaking for the governor. But if you didn't
speak your mind,
I don't see this as preparatory to defection. I would rather see it as preparatory to. But one thing is this: I know the governor may defect to APC at any time. He didn't ask me to speak for him. I'm not speaking for him.
Good.
It is very possible.
Now, let's assume,
considering the fact that even his own house is leaking terribly, let's face the truth. What is the status of PDP today? Some individuals have hijacked PDP. It's no more like, in fact, the center can no more hold in PDP, and that is his own political party. So, if he has anything to do with regards to 2027 election, is he sure of the house he belongs to, his own family called PDP? The umbrella is already tearing. So if he starts seeking for shelter elsewhere, I don't know, it's but what they will have to know is that, you know, whenever any action is taken by any individual, for instance, as I'm talking here, maybe before I leave here, some people say, you have a period of
I've said that you sound like you were sent by the government.
No, but for me as a person, I'm not looking at the projects he's running. They are good enough. Then when we start looking at the analysis of what it took and all that, that is a different issue. But when it now comes to the issue of defection, I will not be surprised if it defects. And if it defects, I know that it might not just be that he would like to defect, that he had wanted to defect as an ordinary person, but because of the fact that even his political party is almost in a state of moribund. And some individuals I wouldn't want to mention, not out of fear, but because I'm not here to discuss them, are already guiding the party. So he may have the tendency of running to the APC. And let me tell you one other thing. You know that what the presidency is doing is more of killing oppositions. They are gradually strangulating all the opposition parties. And when they end up strangulating opposition, what are they doing? To ensure that there is no opposing force.
And that's a danger. That's a danger for the nation.
It's a very dangerous thing for politics. In fact, what they are doing is it's not what I can describe. We really don't believe the person
Comrade, as a trade unionist, let's assess the performance of this president via his numerous travels, his numerous trips out of the country. In fact, the opposition has said that he's the most traveled president in the history of Nigeria since 1999, the return to democracy. According to them, since the 26 months that he's been in office, he has left the country for 40 times, about 180 times.
Let me tell you, you know, Buhari set a record in terms of being a diaspora president. But Tinubu broke the record within a short period. That is just it. Even as we talk, if you hear that he's back to Nigeria tomorrow, in fact, we have gotten to a point where we are now used to the president being out of the country. If you talk about his performance, we cannot hold any particular thing. In terms of security, we cannot say that the president has improved the security system in Nigeria. If we talk about our economy, after removing fuel subsidy, remember that when the president removed subsidy, he made us to believe that it was a move towards restoring our economic system. Today, we are still borrowing. You saw what happened when they went for this program where Japan invited African nations. And Japan was promising, I think, about 5.5 billion US dollars loan or whatever. And after that, you come back to, by the time he comes back, you see them preparing for another loan. Nigeria has borrowed even more than before, even after removing fuel subsidy. We've not seen drastic change in education. We've not seen drastic change in security. We've not seen drastic change in health or any other strategic system in Nigeria. Even the electoral process in Nigeria has been eroded completely. When they brought beavers, some people thought that Daniel has come to judgment. But look at the situation we are facing. In fact, as you are here, can you tell me that you have any atom of confidence on the electoral empire? Knowing fully well that even as oppositions parties are coming together trying to know what to do, have they talked about the processes? Because you may just be preparing on how to ensure that you win election. Is it not when election holds? By the time you are busy mobilizing people and they are busy announcing results, what will not be the outcome? So the way the president is going, if we depend on his performance, he shouldn't even talk about 2027. We don't seem to have a blueprint of what the government is doing and what the government intends to do. What we see is that whatever comes up becomes a project for government. So can we really say that these are the things we have seen improve? Even when we know quite well that the removal of fuel subsidy preserves a lot of money for government to do certain projects. And can we see it happen? A lot of projects they do these days are just sharing of money. Either they are substandard or not even done. They are done on paper. And let me tell you, let me open one part. It was because of these people that we are doing what it doesn't obtain anywhere in the world. It's only in Nigeria that we have our currency running in different notes. When you bring 1,000, you have 2 different notes of 1,000. You bring 500, you have 2 different notes of 500. 200 naira, the same thing. Where is it done that you come to a particular country, bring the denomination of their currency and see it in different forms, and they are both genuine legal tender? So that tells you the level of aberration we already have. So his government will always be remembered as a government that launched us into running different notes of our currency at the same time, and they are both genuine. You can't go to US and see US dollar, maybe 100 US dollar. You see it in different forms. One
comrade,
white,
as a unionist, as a trade union leader, have you raised that concern?
Of course, we have. Even you remember that when this government came in, we started having multiple issues with them, starting from fuel subsidy removal. In fact, from Eagle Square, when the president was sworn in, he drew a battle line by the pronouncement he made. You remember that even NLC chairman, president rather, was beaten up. We've had issues where they even, you see, the decay we have is such that some people will open their mouth and blame the leaders. We are not running the country. We are only a pressure group. And there is a limit to what we can do if everybody chooses to do the wrong thing. When it's time for election, people will cast votes based on tribe. They will cast votes based on religion. They will collect one useless bag of small sachet of rice, thinking that will sustain them. And the wrapper that doesn't last up to 6 months and it will turn brown. They will collect all those things and vote whoever and protect illegality in elections. And come back to talk to us. Labour, you are not doing this one. How can you bring a lizard and tell us to train it to become crocodile? It's not possible.
All right, comrade. At this time, let's look at the coalition. Given the recent shifts, the rebirth of PDP, the alliances, how do you see the impact of these alliances? How do you think it will impact 2027 election?
You know why I'm afraid?
No.
The way and manner, the body language of the presidency and those in power, if I may say, does not suggest that they will allow free and fair election. And once you fail to allow free and fair election, every other thing becomes an issue. We'll start having issues. And let me also tell you one dangerous thing about the coalition. Coalition would have been fantastic. By the way, what gave birth to APC was coming together. Whether you call it coalition or alliance or any name you give to it, it is still the same coming together of different political parties that formed APC. And that made them to gather enough force to defeat Jonathan. But I can tell you that APC learned from what happens to Jonathan, PDP, Jonathan's period. They learned from it and how to block every loophole that will allow it to happen to them, whether by crook or hook.
In other words, comrade, you don't see the coalition as a viable vehicle.
Do you know why I don't? Because there are some people that are already pushing for their usual selfish interests. Some people believe they must become the president of this country at all costs.
You're already seeing crack in the coalition?
That is my fear. Because when those people that are now jumping and singing the songs of coalition, by the time they finish singing the song, if some of them, if they are not picked, they will run to another party. Do they have that cohesive force that will hold them together, even if maybe the person you didn't expect or need this? I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to mention him. But do you think that somebody like Atiku Abubakar would wait for anybody to collect the ticket? He's fighting to collect it. And if he collects it, some other people will not be ready to work with him. And that will be the end.
Comrade, now that you've mentioned Atiku Abubakar, let me postulate a bit. Let's paint a picture where Atiku Abubakar is on the ballot. And then, with the rebates in quotes of the PDP, and like we've heard recently in numerous newspaper headlines, that PDP wants the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, to be their flag bearer. Then, there is a P2B of the Labour Party. Do you think there is a pathway for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to still win in 2027?
In the first place, to unseat somebody like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you don't need disintegrated forces. Disintegrated forces cannot remove him. It can only be possible if, one, you look at the whole system and bring out a person that people, at least the majority of the people, believe in.
Comrade.
That is wrong.
Comrade, let me hold your thoughts.
Jonathan,
Comrade, hold
okay.
your thoughts. Let's look at Atiku that commands the Muslim North. A P2B that is in charge of the Southeast. A Goodluck Jonathan from the South. And, of course, we expect the president to win the Southwest. Do you still see a pathway for him in 2027 via what you describe as a discordant opposition?
All right. In the first place, how did he emerge? In the previous election, you just want me to bring out the man behind the masquerade. But how did he emerge?
This is insight.
So
in insight, we were strange.
So why I say why I ask this question is this: if the president could emerge, even when he wasn't the president, if he could influence so many things and pull the trigger to the extent of turning so many things around. Remember that before the 2022 election, we thought that for just somebody to emerge as the president of this country, you must have certain percentage of votes from Abuja. Because as the president of Nigeria, you're also the governor of Abuja. But all those things, the judiciary changed them. They told us that, because you know the law is like two faces of a coin. You can turn it this way and interpret it, turn it the other way and interpret. And the interpretation may not be said, yet it's the same law.
All right.
So what I'm trying to say in effect is that you have calculated based on these factors. But there is a big factor that we haven't considered,
which is
the role of Aneke in the election and the influence of the presidency. We don't even have anything independence. The independence of Aneke is existing on paper.
The independence of INEC?
Yes, it's existing on paper, because if you look at the situation, they say that he that pays the piper dictates the tune. It is still...
In other words, comrade, you're not seeing a free and fair election in 2023.
That is my fear, because we expected free and fair election in 2023. When it became very clear that some people were not going to have their way, you know what's happened. Who told you that 2027 will not be different? The same person in question who could do it to that extent when he wasn't the president, is now the sitting president. So I'm not saying that it's not possible to put him aside. It is. But for them to be able to do it, they must remove selfishness. And that is one thing I don't see happening. If I were Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan, I would respect myself. I'm sorry to say this. In fact, he has better honor for what he did in 2015. And if he wants to sink the honor, let him say he's contesting under PDP. Right. Some of them want to bring him and mock him again. And by the time they rubbish him, the glory he has already will be gone. And he may not regain it again.
All right, comrade, let's
so he had the opportunity to fix Nigeria. He did what he was able to do. Let him just be a very serious statement that he is. And put it at that point. Coming out to contest election again. And then I don't see it becoming a reality. Him coming back. Does he think that Nigeria is like US, where Trump finished the term, lost, somebody was there again, and he came in as an opposition and still won? It's possible, but it doesn't come that easy. Especially when it wasn't everybody that clapped for Jonathan. And let me tell you, the way the country is, Jonathan may not have much to change if he comes in. Yes, you may think that if he comes in, he will do this one and do that. He may not. So I believe quite well that even the confusion in PDP may not allow, in fact, there may be an autolytic effect. The autolytic effect may be that it's PDP within PDP that will destroy him if he comes out. Because one thing we have to understand is that nobody is even talking about political parties. We now look at so many other things beyond political parties.
Such as
the individual.
All right,
if you look at what happened in the previous election, somebody like a Peter Obi, who was underrated and the party was said not to have any structure, became a major contender.
All right, comrade, now that you've mentioned Peter Obi supporters see him as a viable alternative to the current administration. How do you respond to critics who say he's not ready for the presidency?
Yes, he may not be ready for the presidency for certain reasons, according to their own feelings. Some of them believe that for you to be ready for presidency, you must negotiate it with them. They are the people to tell you the conditions. That may be the reason they feel he's not ready for presidency. Some of them may believe that whoever they say is not going to be president can never be president. That is because the system doesn't work properly. If we have a proper electoral system, nobody will say that, because you know that whoever the people will be there. So as for Peter Obi, yes, he's a human being. He may have his own shortcomings. The critics there, they are doing their own business. You know, there are people in politics whose business is to run down whoever comes in. If you come in as an opposition, they will go and download your data, exaggerate it. They will just amplify one weakness and make it bolder than anything, add so many condiments to it.
All right,
and make it look
good. We're out of time. But before I let you go, one word. Do you think this is the right time to increase the salary of political office holders? In one word.
It's an insult on Nigerian people. It's an insult on the masses. If you can think of adding to their own. We heard when they were arguing that the president's salary is 1.5 million naira. Is that all? Well, then let's talk about wardrobe allowance. Let's talk about security votes. Let's talk about every other thing that is attached to the presidency.
I'm sorry, comrade. We're out of time. This is where we draw the curtain on the insight today. You've heard from an expert analyst, a man who is involved in shaping these policies, an opinion leader, a labor leader, Comrade Ben Asogwa. He's the Enugu State Chairman of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC. Comrade, it's been wonderful speaking to you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
At this point, to you viewers who's been with us, remember, your voice matters. So let us know how you feel about these issues, or the issues that you think we should raise on the insight. Remember, this is a program where we x-ray the habits of politics, the issues that shape our nation. Reach us with the hashtag The Insight on our social media handles at Aneke TV on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you. Until we come your way again, same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Who is a woman? She is not just born, she is awakened. A woman carries history in her hands and possibility in her steps. She is a daughter, mother, dreamer, healer, not made to follow, but to walk beside. Not to be silenced, but to speak life. She builds from fragments and sings over scars. Where others see endings, she dares to begin again. Her silence is loud and her presence is a protest against every force that tried to diminish her. To know a woman is to glimpse the divine. For in her voice is rhythm, in her womb is the future, and in her soul the sacred strength that has shaped the earth itself.
A non-governmental organization, Aneke Pascal Onyekake Foundation, has distributed free exercise books to pupils in Community Primary School 1 and 2 in Ozam, Amechi Dodo, Nkanu East Local Government Area of Enugu State, with an encouragement to the children to take their studies seriously. The serene atmosphere of the school was agog as the team arrived the arena with over 300 children benefiting from the free exercise books. Speaking during the event, the program officer of the foundation, Obinna Obu, said the idea of sharing the books was to empower the children educationally. According to him, the foundation has put in place all the necessary measures to support the development of education in the area. He said the foundation had visited and donated books to some other schools in Enugu South, Nkanu East, and Nkanu West local government areas.
We are here, which is part of our ongoing project, which cut across distribution of educational materials to pupils of rural schools located in rural communities. So we've covered other local governments. So this another local government, another school under Nkanu East, which we've covered today. And I think our come here was successful, though the rain tried to disrupt, but to God be the glory, the aim of coming here was achieved at the end of the day.
As they are shared.
Sure, it will be useful to them, and it's obvious on the way they collected it and their countenance and their expression of joy and the collection. We believe that by giving them these books, it will help them to do their homework, assignment, and classwork, and then take their learning serious. Thank you.
3 pupils, Sarah Obase, Chimeremeze Goodness, and Ernest Igwe, expressed joy that their school was remembered and thanked the foundation for the gesture, pledging to take their studies seriously.
I am happy, and we are happy as people give us the exercise book of Aneke. Thank you for giving us. We are happy.
I want to say you people thank you for coming and sharing the book for us.
I want to say to you people thank you for coming and sharing book for us.
Speaking, the 2 headmistresses of the Community Primary School 1 and 2, Ozam Amechi Dodo, Mrs. Regina Ngozi, and Magdalene Ume, thanked the foundation for their humanitarian efforts by providing free books to the children, saying that the books will motivate the pupils.
All I have to say is thank you, Lord. Una try. We really appreciate your coming. We are happy. It's a real good. We are happy for the foundation have shared up to let's say 500 exercise books to the children, and children also we are happy that they receive this gift from you people. We appreciate you and your foundation, and we pray that God will continue to guide you.
Even my purpose are excited. I appreciate you people for coming, at least to show us that this type of thing is in existence. Because if people are not here, we will not have known that you are in existence, that this such a thing is even in existence. So we appreciate it.
Mr. Levinus Ibuaba, an indigene of Amechi Dodo, thanked the foundation for sharing free books to the children and also encouraged them to do more. He also encouraged the pupils to take their studies seriously, that with the books shared to them, it will be very helpful to their studies.
I'm very excited. When I heard that your people are coming, I was overwhelmed, because I know that coming here will cushion the effects of the cost of education in the life of the parents of the pupils. An adage in our locality that says no yen lirijia oya okachako. No, just meaning that whomever eats his yam, that one is the highest farmer. So Aneke has remembered us. Aneke is the greatest. I'm happy with them, and I pray that God will strengthen them the more.
The school environment was filled with happiness as the book distribution continues. For Aneke TV, it's been Chiwendo Ifeonwankwo reporting.
Mbari mo na agbara ogene, mbari mo na agbara ogene, asị n'Igbo ga-abụ ya ogene efi, eku mmanwụ na oho.
Ogene is a metal bell historically made by the Igbo people and considered as one of the most important metal instruments in Igbo traditional music. When struck with a wooden stick, it produces a sharp resonant tone. It is a symbol of Igbo identity and heritage, passed down through generations. Ogene acts as a rhythmic instrument, a melodic device, a means of communication, and also used in divination and spiritual rituals. It provides the rhythmic backbone, often setting the tempo and pace for other instruments and dancers. Ogene comes in different shapes and sizes. The single bell ogene, the double-belled ogene, ogene mpenabo, with each producing different sounds. The triple-shaped ogene, ogene mpe ato, each also producing different sounds. There is also the giant single ogene, alo, that is mostly used in Igbo women cultural dances and a popular Atilogu cultural dance.
Good afternoon and welcome to the news across the country on Aneke TV. First, the headlines. Police promotes 952 officers. Naira records 3 consecutive depreciations against the United States dollar. Now funds to stop upkeep loans during school holidays. Now the news in detail. The Police Service Commission has withheld the promotion of 179 assistant superintendents of police. The commission added that 176 of the affected officers had already retired while the remaining 3 were dead. In a statement by its spokesman, Mr. Ikechukwu Ani, the PSC said the affected officers were unfit for the promotion exercise. Mr. Ani also said 952 ASPs were elevated to the next rank of deputy superintendents. Moving ahead, the Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority has inaugurated 5 solar-powered boreholes and overhead infrastructures in various host communities. Also, the authority commissioned a police post and lodged in Obanyato, Edo Area Water Factory in Auchi, Iyamero Farmland, Cassava and Maize Farm at Owena, and water projects in Ekiti State. They also donated Hilux trucks to enhance security. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Dr. Olufemi Adekambi, revealed this at a press briefing held at the headquarters of the authority in Obayato, Benin, Edo State, as part of programs marking the management's 100 days in office. Adekambi said that the boreholes are situated in Obayato, Ekosa, Owanoba, Agomoba, and Iyanomi, which are all host communities of BORDA. Moving on, the Anambra State government, through the Agune Chamber Security Outfit, has dismissed 8 of its operatives for their involvement in the brutal assault and public stripping of a National Youth Service Corps member, Ms. Jennifer Elobo. Ken Emekai, the special advisor to the state governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, on community security, stated this as the Agune Chamber headquarters in Oka on Wednesday. Emekai said the state government acted swiftly after receiving disturbing reports about the incident, adding that the dismissed operatives will be handed over to the police for immediate prosecution. He said the operatives, while in pursuit of suspected cultists, assaulted corps members, an action which he described as totally outside the mandate of the agency and utterly condemnable. In the meantime, the wife of Anambra State Governor Dr. Noye Soludo said she has contacted the corps member assaulted by the state vigilance operatives Udogachi, Jennifer Eloho, to sympathize with her over the unfortunate incident. Dr. Soludo announced this while speaking with journalists in Oka, the state capital. Governor's wife said she had invited her to the new government house for a meeting on how to resolve the issue with a view to comforting her and ensuring the incident did not traumatize her. We shall be going on a short break. Keep watching Aneke TV.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives. We'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Welcome back. We continue with the rest of the news. Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State has approved the suspension of 3 government officials recommended by the State Assembly. In a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary, Kula Teso, and made available to journalists, Governor Alia attributed the suspension to his belief in the rule of law. The suspended government officials are the chairman of the State Universal Basic Education, Grace Adaba, chairman of Otukbo Local Government, Maxwell Ogiri, and executive secretary of the Benue State Lottery Commission, Michael Upa. Still on education, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund says that upkeep loan disbursement is now strictly tied to the academic session of each institution. NELFund made this known in a statement signed by its Director of Corporate Commissions, Oseyemi Oluwatuyi. NELFund further advised interested loan applicants are required to apply for the loan at the beginning of every academic session to be eligible for both institutional charges and upkeep for the particular session. Apart from institutional loans disbursed directly to institutions, beneficiaries of the student loan scheme enjoy monthly disbursement of 20,000 naira, which amounts to 240,000 naira yearly. With the new directive, students will only enjoy the monthly 20,000 naira during academic session, while payments will be ceased when students are back on holidays. We shall be going on a short break, and when we return, we bring you business news. Please stay tuned.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Glad to know you're still tuned to Aneke TV News. Now over to business news. The Minister of Blue and Marine Economy, Mr. Adeboyega Oyetola, has announced that the Lekki port is projected to generate $200 billion in revenue for the government over its 45-year concession period. Mr. Oyetola made this declaration in Lagos during a breakfast meeting organized by the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping in collaboration with Lekki Port. He explained that since the port commenced commercial operations, the challenge associated with port congestion has been easing both in Lagos and other ports, while simultaneously enhancing Nigeria's competitiveness as a logistic hub. He stated that the level of world-class infrastructure at the port signals vast untapped opportunities for investors, operators, and service providers. Also on business news, maritime operators within Nigerian territorial waters are under increasing pressure to comply with international environmental standards as the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, intensifies enforcement of the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, MAPOL, particularly Annex VI, a section of the convention initiated by International Maritime Association, IMO. Reaffirming this stance, the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Dayo Muberola, said that compliance with the Annex VI provisions is mandatory for all vessels operating within Nigerian waters. He highlighted the country's broader objectives of promoting maritime safety, environmental sustainability, and regulatory alignment with global best practices. In the meantime, Manpower Electricity Distribution Company has filed a formal petition before the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission, EERC. The petition, dated 14th August 2025, is a fallout of the tariff reduction order by the EERC, which took effect from August 1st, 2025. The petition, supported with a 4-paragraph affidavit, was signed by Dr. Ernest Mupwaya, Managing Director, CEO, Manpower Electricity Distribution Limited. It is expressly asking for a review of Order Number EERC 2025-003, Tariff order for Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited 2025 to avoid loss of revenue due to downward review of tariff. Main Power stated in the petition that the tariff order published by the respondent on Friday, 18 July 2025, for Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited was not agreed by the parties and that the same did not comply with the regulation number EERC R004, Enugu State Regulatory Commission, Methodology for Tariff Regulation 2024. Still on money matter, the Naira yesterday recorded its third consecutive depreciation against the dollar at the official foreign exchange market, despite the country's external reserves rising to $41 billion. Central Bank of Nigeria exchange data show that the Naira further weakened to 1,536.73 Naira per dollar on Wednesday, from 1,534.93 Naira traded the previous day. This means that the country's currency again dipped by 1.8 Naira against the dollar on a day-to-day basis. This is the third time the Naira has declined against the dollar this week since Monday, 18 August 2025. Meanwhile, at the black market, the Naira remained unchanged at 1,550 Naira per dollar on Wednesday, the same exchange rate record on Tuesday. Now over to sports. Arsenal are poised to snatch Eberechi Eze from under the noses of arch-rivals Tottenham Hotspur in what could be one of the most audacious moves of the Premier League's summer transfer window. Spurs appeared to be on course to bring the 27-year-old Crystal Palace attacking midfielder to their corner of North London. The Athletic said Arsenal had reached agreement in principle with Palace to sign Eze, with the deal worth in the region of the expired €68 million, $91 million release clause, matching the level of fee Spurs were prepared to pay. In a bid to strengthen nurture and improve basketball